Lithuania has a lot of these Joint Light Tactical Vehicles, or JLTVs. The JLTV procurement process began in 2019 with a contract for 200 armoured vehicles as part of the first phase. According to Lithuanian public broadcaster LRT, a second contract was signed in 2022 for an additional 300 units for a total order of 500. At the time of making this video, the Lithuanian army should be close to receiving all 500. Replacing the Humvees used by the Lithuanian army, these American-made vehicles look pretty cool. But it's also easy to find criticisms of this platform all over the internet. So in today's video, let's look at Lithuania's decision to go with the JLTV as its light utility/combat multi-role vehicle. The decision to purchase 500 Joint Light Tactical Vehicles is part of the Lithuanian Armed Forces Modernization program, which includes the acquisition of the Vilkas infantry fighting vehicle and PZH-2000 self-propelled howitzers. The JLTV deal with the United States includes parts, weaponry, personnel training, spares and maintenance, transportation and installation of equipment. Designed to be a versatile multi-role vehicle, the JLTVs are assigned to various battalions of Lithuania's Iron Wolf and Griffin Brigade, or Geležinis Vilkas and Žemaitija for the Lithuanians out there. An official military announcement also noted that JLTV priority is given to National Rapid Response Forces. The JLTV is fitted with a V8 turbo diesel engine, 6-speed automatic transmission, and a 4x4 independent suspension system. It has adjustable height suspension to fit on maritime prepositioning ships as well as amphibious ships. The vehicle is also designed to be easily transported by military transport aircraft or airlifted by various transport helicopters. The JLTV comes in a few variants, from general purpose all the way to close combat weapons carrier. For Lithuania, it appears that many of these will either be the heavy guns carrier variant or the close combat weapons carrier, fitted with objective gunner's protection kit turrets. With this in mind, most of Lithuania's JLTVs have 12.7mm M2 QCB or quick change barrel heavy machine guns mounted on top. Some of the country's JLTVs will be equipped with RBS-70NG Mobile Short-Range Air Defense or MSHORAD. Coming from Saab, this air defense equipment includes mobile firing units, mobile radar units, and a command and control or C2 system. According to this graphic, which is in Lithuanian, the JLTV has a top speed of 113 km per hour, a driving distance of 483 km on a single tank of fuel, and can handle a payload of nearly 1,600 kilograms. Its operating temperature ranges from -32 to 52 degrees Celsius. But Lithuania's journey of acquiring the JLTV hasn't exactly been problem-free. In fact, in 2022, Lithuanian military personnel had to travel to Oshkosh Defense's production test center in Wisconsin to perform inspections prior to delivery of a batch of vehicles. The move was triggered by shortcomings found by Lithuanian military personnel, which were stated to be, quote, minor technical discrepancies. But the problem with Oshkosh-made JLTVs was even bigger in years prior. In 2019, a Pentagon assessment of the vehicles stated that they were, quote, not operationally suitable because of deficiencies in reliability, maintainability, training, manuals, crew situational awareness, and safety. As reported by the website Task and Purpose, it was stated that units could not maintain the JLTV without support from the contractor field service representatives due to vehicle complexity, ineffective training, poor manuals, and challenges with troubleshooting the vehicle. Translated for a more general audience, this meant that nobody knew how to fix the darn things except for Oshkosh customer service reps. A few years later, the US government exercised its right to award the building of these vehicles to another company instead of Oshkosh. So, newer JLTVs are built by AM General instead, but it sounds like all of Lithuania's vehicles will be built by Oshkosh. But the reason one has to wonder if the JLTV is suitable is more to do with its design and intended use. According to an article from West Point's Modern War Institute, the JLTV was designed with a V-shaped hull that directs IED blasts away from the vehicle, something that was much needed for operations in Iraq and Afghanistan. The big issue with that design is that by the time the JLTV entered service, the US had significantly reduced its operations in that part of the world. Perhaps a little less relevant to Lithuania in its defensive role, but the JLTV has also been criticized for its weight and size, factors that make it more difficult to transport. size and weight of the vehicle also means reduced speed and agility, which would be needed for some operations. A Reddit post, or maybe we should say rant, written from someone in the US military says that they would prefer to go back to the old Humvees for a variety of reasons. They say that the JLTV's visibility is quote-unquote absolute trash, adding that the truck has to boot up like an old computer and that you can't just turn it on and put it in gear and go. This person further adds that the sound the vehicle makes when it's driving is awful and that maintenance is a headache. But at the end of the day, the JLTV's hefty size and weight are meant for crew survivability and personnel protection more than anything, which ultimately means the speed and agility will need to be sacrificed. In case you are wondering, the JLTV equivalent in Latvia remains the old and trusty US-built Humvee. However, on the much lighter side, over 30 Latvian-built VR Fox light tactical vehicles have been ordered for its armed forces. Estonia has invested in around 100 Turkish-built Nurol Makina NMS 4x4s, although at the time of making this video, it doesn't seem that deliveries have started just yet. But what do you think of Lithuania's decision to invest so heavily in the JLTV with over 500 vehicles? Do you think the vehicle suits the military's defensive needs? Let us know by leaving a comment.